am Dr. Tessa Lim. I'm a board-certified dermatologist and I'm practicing here in the province of La Union. Actually, this video is about what's it like practicing as a dermatologist here in the province. I was thinking of sharing my experience, my thoughts, to those who are interested or are thinking of going to the province. Yung mga na-pick up ko along the way as I've practiced here. Because it's very congested na in Manila. Many doctors have sort of like spilled out and have gone to the province because the opportunities for doctors in Manila is limited, or there's minsan impatient ka na parang ang tagal bago mag-pick up ng practice, parang mas madali siguro sa probinsya, ganun. So I thought I'd share my personal thoughts on this. Maybe it could be helpful to you if you're considering on going to the province. The pros, the cons, and the things that I don't know if people would want to let you know, but the ones that I feel are important for me. So let's start. So as a dermatologist, there are two options for you once you graduate, like residency, pass the boards, finish subspecialization pa. Either you practice or hold clinic outside the hospital or within the hospital. Sa hospital option, pwedeng either private or government service yan. So in Manila, where I grew up, took my medicine, residency lahat, there are many hospitals there that you can get into. However, because of the great number of dermatologists that are graduating every year, marami din nagsasubspecialize, the slots or availability of getting accepted is also limited. So for example, if you want to practice St. Luke's, you have to take open ba sila sa mga general dermatologists if hindi ka nag-subspecialize. Or if you're choosing to subspecialize, diba, do they already have the dermatologist with this subspecialization, and if they will still accept you for that. So, yung mga ganun ba na factors na I don't know if it's discussed, or syempre it's like parang in the back of your mind already if you're already taking residency. Even in the government hospitals, you also have to consider that if, kunyari, you're going to take, for example, pediatric dermatology, dermatologic surgery, or dermatopathology, meron na bang ganong subspecialist sa hospital na yun na gusto kong pasukan. So, I've realized that a lot of dermatologists it's very competitive kasi marami ng derma, marami ding subspecialist. So, it may spill over to the province. So, yun yung isang factor. That's why I've noticed that a lot of dermatologists, or a lot of even doctors, even other specializations, go to the province now. Next. So, what are the things that I've experienced personally and noticed when I went here to La Union? So, when I married my husband, he's the one who's really from here. Both of us studied in Manila. We took our med school in Manila and our residency program. He even had subspecialization in a foreign country. So, dun talaga yung mga kaibigan namin. So, when we went to La Union, it was his family was here for us, and parang ang tagal na ng mga kaibigan na It's like childhood friends pa nung high school ka noon. So, as a doctor, you have to have a referral system. So, for the surgical field, yung mga cutting, kailangan may referral yan eh. Kasi kung wala mag-refer sa'yo, sino operahan mo? Pag derma naman, ganun din, it can also help. For example, you're in the hospital setting, if you have like certain colleagues, friends who would refer to you, it would greatly help your practice. As opposed to just starting from scratch na walang may kilala sa'yo, you have to build your name from the ground up. So, malaking bagay yung referral system. So, yung downside was that, you know, we had to have like friends. You know, yung mga kaibigan namin were also the new doctors who went here to La Union, or yung mga kasabayan namin who went here. So, ang advantage is, if you stay in Manila, if you choose to stay in Manila, meron ka ng mga referral system, yung consultants mo, yung mga kaibigan mo, batchmates mo, even yung mga classmates mo ng med school, if that's where you had your medicine, sila na yung mag-refer sa'yo kapag doon ka na-practice. So, that is a big plus. Kasi marami ng parang pool of doctors who will refer to you wherever you choose to have your clinic. Sa probinsya, it takes a while for it to pick up. because hindi ka pa kilala eh, di ba? So you have to build your name, you have to stay there, lalangawin ka, wala talagang pupunta sa clinic mo. And you have to wait for the patients to come. Yun. So number one, the rent is cheaper. For sure, when you go to practice here, either rent outside if you want to rent space. The rent in the clinic is cheaper. Oftentimes, walang bond. Hindi kagaya sa mga hospitals in Manila na malaki yung bond para lang makapag-practice ka inside. Maliban sa bond, you have to pay the rent and whatever else you have to pay just to be able to practice. Here, if there is a bond, it's small to none at all. So that's a big plus. Next is, of course, if you choose to practice in the province, hindi kasing ganoon kadami ang competition mo. Especially if you choose a province na liblib. If you choose like a bayan, kung saan yung province, tas yung bayan niya, mas marami syempre yung mga doctor doon. So you could have like more dermatologists within your city who's practicing. Next is the government hospital. Ayun. So for the government service, madali makapasok sa government hospital sa probinsya compared sa Manila. I think madali na rin sa Manila because maraming mga parang available na mga item. So, sa province lang, what you have to consider is there a resident program, a residency program in the hospital that you're applying to? So, for example, you want to go into certain government hospital, may dermatology residency program ba dito sa hospital na to? Because if there's none, ultimately you will be doing the job of the resident. So ikaw titingin ng pasyente, you'll do the biopsy, you'll do the rounds, everything. Ikaw yung gagawa. So it's a bigger load as compared to just, parang being someone who would facilitate and there's a resident who could at least be with you while you're doing the work. Yun, malaking bagay yun. Sometimes you even have to do duties for other specializations like surgery. Merong mga duties pag mas parang mga liblib na mga probinsya. You have the consultants to the parang nag-duty din sila. Next is salaries. Okay, so for the salary, of course, because i-base mo yung salary sa minimum wage. So, of course, mas mura yung salary dito sa probinsya compared sa Manila. Just based on your minimum wage, that's usually the starting that you will give your secretary or your staff, whether you want to hire for your clinic. So that's a big plus, especially if you're just starting out. Mas madali talaga, mas magaan sa bulsa to start out in the province as opposed to starting in Manila, wherein you have to really choose where you're going to start your clinic because it will add up if you just have so many clinics all at once. Next is what's the downside for this? Mura sa probinsya for sure. Mura ang rent, mura ang pasahod sa mga tao, mas madali makapasok sa ospital. However, with this comes the rates are also different. So, for example, if you practice in the province, yung consultation mo iba, of course, from the ones in Manila. Yung procedure rates mo will be different from the ones that were offering the same procedure in Manila. Even the medications, if you're selling medications, the price will be very different from the price that they could offer the medication in Manila because of the cost of living. Diba? Dun mo iaakma kung how much you would price the medications eh. Because if your pool of patients are like farmers, fishermen, if your clinic is very in a far-flung province, syempre hindi mo sila pwedeng presyohan ng mahal because hindi nila ma-afford yung price na isi-set mo. So it will depend on your location. So what happens is, what you compensate for that, how you compensate for that is you need more patients to somehow reach the target as your counterparts in the city are earning. So another downside is, although the lifestyle is cheaper, so for example, if you eat here sa probinsya, you could have like a meal, 60, 100 pesos, ganyan, sometimes 300, depende na. Hindi as expensive as the ones that you would pay if you're living in Manila, or like let's example, like 500 to 800 yung meal, ganyan. Depende kung saan kakain. So, the cost of living, of course, is cheaper. The lifestyle is more laid back. Meaning, wala masyadong mall, wala masyadong mapuntahan, ganyan. So, if that is what you're used to, like I am, malaking adjustment talaga yun. Because, there's no green belt dito. Walang Shangri-La, walang mga ganun, walang hotels masyado. There are resorts, so in place of the certain things, walang hotel masyado, marami namang resorts. So there are other places that you could go. So next, so if you are really considering of practicing in the province, one thing that I don't think was ever mentioned or I've heard from people was that paano kapag nagkaanak ka na, diba? When you have kids, you have to put them to school. So the other thing that I noticed, which for me is the downside, is yung mga schools hindi ganun kadami. So if you were in Manila, okay, so if you're going to enroll your child in preschool, yung mga ganyan, nursery, maraming options. But in the province, especially here in La Union, although this is already a city, so bayan na to ng La Union, hindi ganoon kadami ng options talaga. So, for me, I think that's the downside. So, when I was choosing for school for my daughter, parang wala masyadong mapipilian. Kasi ilan lang din talaga. Siguro because, of course, the population is not as many. So, there's no reason for them to build so many schools. So, kung taga Manila ka, like me, you know the schools kung saan kunyari magkakaanak ka, you know where you would parang consider to put your kids to school. As compared to here, di ba? My husband is my only source na. Saan kaya ako pwede ganyan? Or my close friends here. And still, hindi ganoon ganyan yung options. Even for like activities for the kids, there are, but not as many as you would have if you were in the big city. So for me, that's a big downside. And then, when you get older, syempre, mag-high school yan, mag-college, will they still be taking college, studying college here? Diba? You will have to think that. You have to think that far. So, eventually, most of the, mga kilala namin na doctors, when their kids go into college, diba? You have to shuttle around, diba? Dadalhin nila yung anak nila doon. You have to make arrangements, of course, to have a space or like condo or house for their kids to stay when they're in Manila or wherever they choose to have college in, because yun, dito yung base mo na sa probinsya. So that is one thing that I feel is really downside. Maybe I haven't experienced that because wala pa naman sa college yung anak namin. But, just thinking about it, it's something that will be an adjustment. So, if you just chose to stay in Manila, diba? Parang andun na lahat. Andun yung referral systems mo ng mga doctor na mag-refer sa'yo. At the same time, it'd be easier for your child to choose for school for them from being a small child hanggang paglaki nila. But andun na lahat. Andun na yung mga schools na magaganda. Not that I'm saying that the schools in the province are not good. All I'm saying is there are a lot of options. Mas maraming options talaga kapag nasa city center of Manila. Next is, as you go older, diba, yung healthcare is also a consideration. Like, pag tumanda ka, if there's certain like procedure na hindi kayang gawin sa probinsya mo, kailangan dalhin ka sa Manila din. So, that is also something that you should think of. Maybe not now, but in the future, because you have to also consider healthcare not only for the people that you will treat, but also for yourself. Diba? My suggestion is if you do choose to practice in the province, mas madali kapag sa bayan ka mag-practice. Kasi marami lang mag-refer sa'yo ng mga specialist. And at least the accessibility to like the grocery stores, the malls, it's there. Hindi ka masyadong mahirapan mag-adjust. You could have like another small clinic in the mas malayo siguro ng probinsya to get more patients, but your base, your home base, if you do choose to practice in the province, would be the city center ng probinsya na yun, yung bayan ng probinsya. I don't know if this topic would be helpful to you, but these are the things that I've experienced myself as a dermatologist here in La Union. La Union is a province that's sunny, malayo sa Manila. It takes around 6 hours by car to get here. So some patients, if they want something done, like a really ibang procedures, they just go to Manila, diba? But dito, ganun. So, if you would think na hindi mas madali mag-practice sa probinsya, it has its good sides, diba? Madali talaga mag-build ng practice sa probinsya. But for your like mental health, yung mga ganun ba, yung what you would think is not a consideration for yourself, because before yung sarili mo lang yung iniisip mo, but once you have kids, you would realize that there are other things that are a factor of your life, diba? Yung paano yung pag-aaral nila, paano yung other things that you have to consider when the time comes that, you have to go back to Manila. Ganon. So, your doctors who are from the province, many of us, we have like base in Manila, we have a base here. So, I guess, ultimately, it really depends on where you want to stay, diba? So, kung sa Manila ka, if you're happy staying in Manila, I just go for it, diba? It will also take the same time for your practice to flourish, to be successful, as it would for your counterparts in the province would. The only difference is it's a little easier to start in the province. But ultimately, at the end, it's going to be the same. So that's my realization. It's just going to be the same. Pare-pareho lang din tayo sa ending. So, thank you for watching my video. I hope this was helpful, not discouraging in any way. I try to be as honest as I could. My experience would definitely be different from yours. And I do hope that if you do continue to practice in the province, that you just enjoy it. Kasi lifestyle is laid back. Walang traffic. Wala talaga. Traffic na dito is like 15 minutes, ganun. 30 minutes pag wow or malan, ganun. It's not like the 2 hours that you have to drive from Quezon City, Makati, para lang makarating sa Pilipinas. That doesn't really happen. So, yun. There are a lot of benefits. There are also some, negatives about it. So, I guess, ganun talaga. Anywhere you choose to practice, meron din negativity. Even if you choose to just stay in Manila and, start your practice here. So, thank you for watching my video. I do hope that this has been